intro because I gotta make a stop right quick.
Okay, I'll do an intro. What's up, everyone? Coach Angie here, and I'm excited to be before you yet again with the master, Dr. Akmal. Make sure you hit him up at www.drakmalspeaks.com. I will be putting that up for you guys to be able to reach out to him and go to his website. And I just want to let you know that I am so grateful that he comes on here bi-weekly every Wednesday. We're either here at 12 p.m. or at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and he just gives us over 40 years of his knowledge. And the most amazing part about it is it's his knowledge about women's health. Over 40 years, he's been helping us with pre and perimenopause, menopause, just whatever women's issues, health issues that we go through. And he's helped me in my life tremendously. And I'm super duper duper grateful for him and his presence in my life. And without further ado, if he is ready, because I see him adjusting himself. um, yeah, he's got to get it together in his beautiful white. I love it. You all, we're talking summer health, healing, and balancing for women's self care. And I want to really focus on the menopausal woman because I believe that there are a lot of menopausal women that are suffering in silence because they just feel like, oh, this is just a part of getting older. This is what I have to deal with because my doctor doesn't know, it's just menopause and these are the symptoms and that's it. Well, I know that there are tons of things that can help you with whatever it is that you're going virtually, whatever it is that you're going through. So, without further ado, I'm going to welcome the expert on this, Dr. Akmal. Dr. Akmal, please join us.
Well, good afternoon. I
Good
believe I'm on.
afternoon. You
And
are.
so I pray that everybody is well and living life to its fullest because that's what life is about. It's about how we live it to its fullest. When we start to talk about and I can only stay with you for about 35 minutes
That's
because I have
okay.
another engagement. But when we start to talk about when Minna pauses, okay, because that's what she does. She makes that chemical change within a woman's body. When I was growing up, they used to say, I would hear older women say, "Girl, I'm going through that change of life," and I would say, "What change? I don't see nothing different." Well, little did I know what was going on within the compounds of the woman's body. When I began to work in terms of women's health, then I really understood how the balance of the hormones happen and how they don't happen. And what women should think about and realize is this. First off, how many brothers and sisters does your mother have? And how many brothers and sisters does your father have? Because that
Mhm.
has a bearing on how your cycle goes through the years of cycling, and then what
Mhm.
happens when Minna decides she wants to pause. Okay.
Okay.
And so, you know, you also should find out where your mother is in that line or where your father is in that line, because of the factor in traditional Chinese medicine, we're talking about the relationship of your kidneys to your endocrine system, okay, which has to
Mhm.
do with your hormones and how it established its relationship with your heart and your uterus. Okay. And so when we start to look at it in that manner, we also should calculate how it changes and what changes during the seasons. You know, we're at the end of summer. Okay, we've got less than a month. Oh no, sorry, my bad, as they say. We have exactly 30 days from today will
Yes.
be fall, autumn. Okay. And actually,
Mhm.
that's John Coltrane's birthday, but that's a sidebar.
Well, it's a good
But
trivia. It's good trivia.
it is, but the reality of that is the factor that as we move from summer through to autumn, you know, women should think about the factor of one, what they're eating, okay, and
Mhm.
how they're eating what they're eating. You know, summer foods are watery. Okay,
Mhm.
so we got melons, we got oranges, we got plums, we got cherries, and all of those contribute to the balancing of a woman's health, men as well, but more so women in this matter, because there's two elements, and I don't know if I've said this before to people, but there's two elements that govern the body. One of them is fire, and one
Mhm.
of them is water.
You
Now,
have said that.
you ladies who experience Minna when she pauses, you understand that fire, okay? Very well, and then there's the ability to cool that off, okay? And so when you put in the water of like watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew melon, what those foods do is they kind of calm the body down because of the fact that it's giving you water. When you put in spices, you should not put in spices in the summertime, a lot of
Okay.
spices. And I know we have women listening who are from a culture that eats spicy foods. So
Mhm.
if you're eating spicy foods, don't make them as spicy as you can, because what that's going to do is that's going to contribute to the heat within your body, which now is causing you to have the hot flashes, the night sweats, those kinds of things. What needs to happen is that the balancing of your kidneys, because as I said earlier, kidneys rule over the endocrine system, and the endocrine system has to do with the formulation of the FHA and and luteinizing hormones that are what maintain the balance of the hormones of estrogen, progesterone, as well as other types of hormones that women work with in their reality of their life. And so you want to make sure that the foods that you're eating is cooling you off. Now, the other piece of that is the fact that sometimes the imbalancing of the organ network and the uterus and fallopian tubes and all of that is because of the fact that women may have a thyroid imbalance. okay,
Mhm.
which now disrupts the balance of the hormones because of the thyroxine. And if women are taking synthroid or something of that nature, that's going to also create an imbalance for their thyroid, which now can create an imbalance within um, the endocrine system, which
Mhm.
now is going to cause them to have issues that that they didn't have before. The other thing that can throw a woman straight into when menopause is when their uterus is taken from them. Okay.
Mm.
And in some cases, it's a process that should be happening because of what might be going on that's detrimental to their health. But in other
Mhm.
instances, it shouldn't be, where there are uh, um, times when the doctor just says, "Well, it's easier to just take it out. You don't need it no more. Just take it out."
Right.
Well,
Right.
if that was the case, then at a certain age, God would say, "Okay, so your uterus is leaving you, bye," and it would drop on out, and you keep on rolling. You wouldn't have any hot flashes and night sweats and all of that. That I haven't spoken to a woman in all my years that have said, "Yeah, it just dropped out and I kept on walking." So that's not happening.
Well, I also don't hear women who have had their uterus removed say, I mean, they, like you said, it throws them straight into hot flashes, it throws them straight into menopause.
Hmm.
So, I, yeah, this thing is crazy. But I want to go back quickly to that spicy thing you were talking about. So, I had a question from a lady who drinks a little cayenne pepper to help open up her heart valves or whatever.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, is that okay to do, or just not, don't do that in the summer? Or what
Well,
can she do to help with her with that?
well, cayenne will open up the arteries. It'll actually help to get rid of plaque, okay, and keep
Yeah,
circulation going. Women need that
yeah,
circulation. Women have more heart attacks, and especially
yeah.
African women who are born in America, okay, or African women or Caribbean women that come to the U.S. Okay, they
Hmm.
have more heart attacks than men. I mean, and that's researchable. And the
Yeah.
and the piece of that is the fact that a little cayenne is good, okay, but you don't really want to taste the cayenne, okay.
Okay.
You want it so that the cayenne now functions as an accelerator, okay. So let's say that you make you a cup of peppermint tea,
Hmm.
okay, and you just add a little cayenne to it, okay.
Okay.
What's going to happen is the cayenne's going to go in and float through the body and start to do its job and
Okay.
keep the arrhythmia of the heart functioning, okay.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. I also recommend that women take things like COQ10,
Hmm.
because of the fact
Stop you
that.
right there on the COQ10.
Mhm.
So I went to purchase, because you told us that before, and I went to purchase COQ10, and the person at the vitamin place said over 40-year-old women should get the ubiquit the other one.
Yeah, ubiquity, which is
Yeah, ubiquity.
COQ10.
Yeah, but it's without something that they were saying that people over 40 needs. And
Well,
COQ10 has, I don't know. You can explain that, because I
okay.
wasn't sure what they meant.
So with COQ10, as we get younger in age, we no longer manufacture it in that manner.
Right.
When you exercise, and especially if you exercise a lot, your body needs that. And it needs it because of the factor that that's what helps muscles contract.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so your heart, I heard someone say, no, your heart's not a muscle, your heart's a muscle. And by it being a muscle contracting, it needs that COQ10. Okay. And so I recommend it to now, whatever the person in the health food store told you, I have no idea at this moment on it. Okay.
So I
I
guess I'm asking the difference though between COQ10 and ubiquitol, whatever the
ubiquion. That's
yeah,
that's its name.
ubiquitol.
Okay. That's its
So
name.
why do they sell it separately?
Well, money.
Yeah,
I
but it's
mean,
the same brand. It's the same
right,
brand.
right. If you go look it up, it'll say that's its Latin name.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what the person at the health food store said, and maybe they found some research that I don't know about. And so, because that research is out there, they're telling you that.
Well, I'm gonna
What?
listen to you because they were literally probably 25, 30 years old. So
Okay. And, and
I'm gonna
and
listen to
so
you.
and so that would be one of the pieces that I would say take. The other piece of that is the factor that, and people can go to the website and extract the foods for the season. So now we're
Right.
at the end of the season. So now it's like, okay, so what do we eat? You do the combination of what's for summer and put some of the autumn foods in there as well. This is a
Okay.
good time to put in yam. Okay. Yam is not really a summer food, but it's a food for now. Let me tell you why. Because each season, a set of organs have their own organ system. Summer was the season of the heart and the small intestines. The Sanjiao, which is the three burning spaces, the pelvis, the abdomen, and the chest, and the pericardium, which is housed around the heart. And so that was summer. Well, we're in late summer, and in late
Yeah.
each each season, the late part of the season has to
Mhm.
do with the spleen, the stomach, and the pancreas. Now, the spleen has to do with things like dampness. So when women go through menopause and they start to spread out, okay, what they're spreading out from is the fact that the spleen isn't able to break down the food so that the small intestines can absorb it. And so, because of that, now their body starts to spread and they start talking about losing weight. Well,
Mhm.
what's happening is this dampness. And think about dampness in this manner, especially people who living in climates that's cold and we have snow and that kind of thing. Dampness is on a on a day when it's snowing and it's gray and it's heavy and it just looks like I don't want to deal with that. And
Yeah.
so with that day happening in that manner, now what's happening? Now what happening is the factor that now you get sluggish. So that happens during the time when men starts to pause because the spleen in Chinese medicine has to make blood cells and provide us with energy. Now it's taste. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of women saying, okay, so what it tastes like? What does spleen like? The spleen likes sweets.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, the
Uh,
spleen likes sweets. And so when
so
you
when your
give the
spleen is out of whack, it's
you're
craving.
craving sugar, you're craving sweets. Okay.
Mm.
Or when mentally you can't find the sweetness in your life becomes a
Uh-oh.
spleen issue.
Now, what does that
See,
mean when you can't find the
that means,
sweetness in your life?
you know, we always think that we got it going on and we got the sweetness. But there's times when it's not so sweet. We get
Amen.
depressed. We
Yes.
we we wind up with anxiety. We wind
Mm-hmm.
up with worrying,
Mm-hmm.
and so the spleen is connected to the stomach, and they're the elements of digestion. So if a woman's not digesting life well, that could cause her to have a hot flash and night sweats,
Mm.
because of the fact that she's not finding the sweetness in life, and
Okay.
she's not dealing with the factor of digesting or understanding how to navigate the digestion of her life. You see, and so because when Minna starts to pause, Minna plays that game with you,
Mm-hmm.
because the mind doesn't become so clear as it once did, because of the
Right.
factor of that. And so when we start to look at it in that manner, we're looking at the factor of, first off, make sure that you're eating foods that work for you and not against you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you understand your blood type. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of controversy about blood type. It's like, well, I'm I'm AB, I'm O, and I'm, and all of this here. But if you go give blood to the Red Cross or anybody else, the first thing they do is they check your blood type, because of
Mm-hmm.
the antigens and the antibodies are needed for specific elements. And so that would be the other way I would look at that, because you can overcome those hot flashes and them night sweats because of the factor of what you're eating. If you're going to eat things like chicken, okay, then make sure the chicken is organic. Okay. Don't just go eat any old chicken, because do you realize that they shoot them animals up with hormones that affect a woman more than a man, but a woman's temperament, that can cause them to have hot flashes and night sweats. You see?
Wow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure that the foods that you're eating, including some of that salmon, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that people are buying, you want to make sure that there's no hormones in there at all. Your body makes enough hormones, and the hormones do decrease. So when the hormones decrease, now you have to take certain things, for that to create that balance. Women should take a multivitamin, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that have minerals in it, because when you do that, now you're setting your body straight. There are some women who are taking prenatal vitamins who are going through menopause. And what I say to them is that, you know, you're not really going through that stage, but if your body accepts that, then work within the compounds of that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the other piece of that is that women and men, because you might have some men listening to this, because of they trying to create that understanding of why women are where they are when they where they are. So and my hats off to you, my brothers, because of the fact that, yeah, we don't go, well, we go through something similar, but we don't go through it in the same manner. And so
Yeah.
because of that, now what happens? Now what happens is that now you're kind of off balance. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to make sure that you're putting in what your body needs. You know, I would say stay away from processed food. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
and some of this vegan food that we're eating. Okay. You need to be mindful of how it's being prepared and who's preparing it, and the temperament of the person preparing it. because that temperament of that person preparing it can set off Mena. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it can really set off, and it can set off your emotions. The emotions for this time of year are anxiety and worry. Okay? During autumn, which is the lung and the large intestine season, which now is when you should oxygenate your blood. The piece of that is sadness and grief. And so if you take worry and anxiety into autumn, and autumn picks it up and it gets with that sadness and that grief, then in the wintertime, it's going to bring you fear and depression.
So now you got all
Okay.
that going on.
Right. Now you got all
Now,
that going on top of you fanning. Whew, it's hot in here. Okay.
okay. So now that
As
you
they say,
said that, now that you
Mhm.
said that, we're taking all of these emotions into each season. So now they're compounded, right? By the time we
Right,
get to winter.
right,
And winter is like the worst for everybody, less
right.
sunlight, all of that. So what do we do in the interim? What do we do during these different seasons? So I want to kind of go back and reset and talk about, you started off with, we're at the last month of the summer. And for menopausal women, we need to be, I know watermelon is in season in August. So we need to be getting in the cool stuff, all the melons, right?
Right.
We need to be getting in our multivitamins. We need to be getting in our probiotics and our
Right.
digestive enzymes and our B
Absolutely.
vitamins, right? You
Right.
didn't say that, but you said these things before. So I want to kind of let them know that this is what you prescribe for us to make sure that we stay balanced. We can have a little cayenne pepper, but in our peppermint tea, just get a little taste, not a whole bunch. And that is to open up our heart arteries. So I hope you all are taking notes, because this is so amazing to know, so that we can balance ourselves. And then you talked about us going into autumn, and to integrate our summer foods with our autumn foods right now, because we're kind of transitioning. So that's where I kind of want to let you come back in on.
So it's important that you begin to look at the foods and basically the foods you're eating. And I'm gonna go back to the blood type. I mean, because we have to understand that the blood type is similar to putting gas in your car. So there's some folks listening to us who might have a Rolls Royce, who might have a Mercedes Benz, or one of them kind of cars, a Lexus or something of that nature that takes premium gas. Well, you can't put regular gas in it and run your car, because if you do, it starts to
That's right.
spitting, going on, all that kind of stuff. And so your blood type rules your body in that manner. Okay. And so if you put the elements, and if you start to put the elements, the food elements into your blood, into your body, that have to do with your blood type, you would find that hot flashes and night sweats and all those things dissipate, because of the fact that you're feeding your blood what it needs. When we don't do that, that's when you wind up having those issues. Okay. The other piece of that is the fact of that, how much do you love yourself? See, and what does that mean to you?
Yeah.
When you start looking at, this is a whole piece, and in the program that will start, the introduction will start on the 7th of September, which is the prevention and healing of female balance, and that's the beginning. That will move us into a 12-month program, and within that 12-month program, we get into that fact of how to deal with that. Okay. Because of
Yeah.
the factor that you got to bring that love into yourself so that you're able to create the digestion of you and your
Yes.
life. And that sweetness that you should have in your life. You see, because when we don't have that sweetness in our life, that's an issue. Okay. And that's
Yeah.
an issue that passes on from us to the people around us, to the people in our family, and all of that. So eating is very important. Digestion is very important. But your emotions is more important because of the fact that they function within each organ. Each set of organs um, have their own energy, vibration. They have their own emotion. And so for instance, the emotion of the spleen, anxiety can shut your digestive tract down. You know, I had in my 74 years of living, I've had one anxiety attack. Woo! I never wanted to have another one. Okay.
Yeah, they're not fun. They're
They're
not
not
fun.
right. Right. You lose all perspective of everything. Okay. And so the piece of that is that it also has to do with, and I've said this before, your elbow. You know your elbow. Yeah, y'all know your elbow. Yeah, you know that elbow. And
Yes, I
so
do.
and so you have to be conscious. Don't eat in the fast food joints. Okay. Them greasy spoons, don't eat in them. Because first off, you don't know where that food came from. Yeah. The best way to maintain your health is cook your food for you. Don't allow
Mm.
other people, unless they're in your household, their friends or whatever, cook your food because that can
Mhm.
set off your hormones. There are a couple of things that I have that women who are in the stages of menopausing, I provide for them. One of them is called Tien Huan Bushin Dan. And Tien Wan Bushindan is really a nice herbal formula. And what it does is first off, it maintains the balance of the heart and the heart's arrhythmia. The second piece that it does is it stops all of those personal summers, and it stops that night sweat. I have women who don't run out of it. Okay. When they get low, they call me. The other piece is that you have to balance both kidneys. The right kidney is your fire, the left kidney is your water. And so you want to balance those two kidneys because in Chinese medicine, kidneys have to do with conception, gestation, pregnancy, delivery, maturity, aging, and death. Okay. So it can bring you in and take you out. And so you want to maintain the balance of that because that's going to balance your body in such a way where you don't have hot flashes and you don't have night sweats and your mind is clear because it also has to do with the bone marrow and the brain marrow. So that's a key indication. And its season is winter. Summer is the time to pull that vitamin D in. One of the ways to pull that vitamin D in is a product um, called Calm Plus Calcium because that's going to help you to reduce and or eliminate osteoporosis. Okay, when
Okay.
you balance the two kidneys and the formulas I give is Lu Wei Di Huang Wen and Yu Gui Huan. You'll find them on my website and you'll get the information of what they do. But when you add those and Calm Plus Calcium to your regimen, what you begin to find is you begin to find that your body starts to smooth itself out. Now, if there's a situation where you got a bad attitude, okay, because men can cause you to have an upset attitude, you know, that has to do with your liver. So now you want to begin to stimulate the liver. I give Boogang Tang. But on the other note, you can kind of deal with the factor of drinking lemon water. Not the lemon flush, not the lemon diet that they talk about. That's not, it's in the same category, but it's not the same. And what you would do is at night, you do this at night, especially if your attitude is a little rough, and you don't get the product that I sell, which is Boogang Tang. So what you would do is you squeeze a lemon into a glass, 8-ounce glass. You'd put a tablespoon of grade A maple syrup. You'd put a pinch of cayenne pepper, okay, and you would fill the glass with water, distilled water, and drink it before you went to bed. Why? The liver's energy is from 1 to 3 o'clock in the morning. And so you want to get it whilst it's running in its gamut. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the factor that that's when you will have that peacefulness. So COQ10, okay. 200 milligrams is good. If you're diabetic, then you want to increase that. Okay. If you
And if you
think you have,
exercise, you said if you exercise a lot, you want to definitely take COQ10.
absolutely.
Okay.
If you're having and this is for women who are going through menopause and they have diabetes or hypertension, COQ10 is going to work well for women who have hypertension. Okay, it's going to work well to bring those numbers down, as well as it works with diabetes. You know, osteoporosis, calm plus calcium, that has calcium, magnesium, vitamin C, vitamin D, okay, and boron, which is going to get into your system. Boron and phosphorus, potassium, which is now going to really work on balancing your bones, okay, and maintaining the elements of your DNA and your stem cells. Okay. I can be
Where do you
reached.
get boron? I don't know.
It's in that complex. Okay. It's in that complex. Okay.
I know I'm
And
saying, where do you get boron? Where do you purchase boron?
you wouldn't want to purchase separately, unless you're
Oh,
taking,
so you're
unless you,
saying that it's already integrated with
it's
potassium.
right in
Okay.
within
Okay.
complex. It's an integration. All of that's in
Oh, so it's
integration.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Because it's really working to maintain and reducing osteoporosis, which has a lot to do with women and their bone density. The other piece that I would say to you is if you haven't, go get a bone density scan to see where your bone density is, so that you have an understanding of where you are in regards to your bones, especially if you're 50, 60, and 70 or older, because of the factor that if you're not getting enough calcium and it's not absorbing, don't just take calcium. See, we have to understand the factor that micronutrients, which are minerals and vitamins, are like keys to a lock. And if you don't have if the key doesn't have the right teeth in it, then the tumblers don't come down and you can't unlock it. When you take minerals and vitamins, they're synergistic. And in their synergistic mode, what you want to do is you want to make sure you take them together. That's like if you're taking vitamin D by itself, that's an issue, and especially if you're taking vitamin D and you're taking 5,000, 10,000, because of the factor that not only does it work for calcium, magnesium, but it also works for the factor of putting arsenic in your body and lead. And Natural Science Foundation talks about the factor that you should only take 800 to 1,000 micrograms of vitamin D, milligrams, IUs, especially if it's in a liquid, of vitamin D, and not more than that. But vitamin D needs calcium, magnesium, vitamin C, all of that to get into your system. So
So
make
are
sure
you
that you
saying, okay, go ahead.
so make sure that when you put minerals and vitamins in, you have an understanding of what should go in there with it, so that you will then be able to get the absorption that you need from it. Because if not, as one doctor years ago said, you know, vitamins and minerals are expensive urine. And so because you're gonna put them in it and urinate them out. The other piece that I would suggest is B complex, okay, and B vitamins, so that helps with the central nervous system. It helps break down the food, and along with the enzymes and the probiotics. You know, those are the things that you would take. And so, as we get ready to close, you had a question,
Um, the vitamin D3, you already explained it. You said take it with the calcium plus, take it together with those things.
right?
But also real quick, the vitamin D3 with K2, is that a thing or is that not a thing?
Yeah, I mean that works, but you know, when you integrate all of the other elements that I talked about into it, then what happens is you get full support from it. And
Okay.
that's truly what you want. You want that full support. You don't, excuse me, you don't want, excuse me, you don't want partial, okay, um support from it, because
Yeah.
it's not doing any good. And you don't want it so that you put it in and you urinate it, or it comes out in your bowels and you don't get it. You know, so yeah,
Gotcha.
that's the piece of that. So
Okay.
as we close, this is what I would leave you with. First, begin to understand yourself. Second, begin to understand the people you allow into your world. Third, eat clean. You know, make sure that the foods that you eat have nutrients. Don't overcook them. Don't allow them to be processed, and don't allow for additives and preservatives to be in them. Cook as much food by your hands or your family's hands as you can. Eat as much fresh foods as you can. Use the farmer's market that's local if you eat, and especially if you eat organic. Because if you eat organic that comes from more than 100 miles of where you live, it may be picked immature. By it being picked immature, you will not receive nutrients that you're trying to get from it. And above all, love yourself. Yeah. I mean, because that's why one of the reasons why you're here on earth is to understand you and love yourself. And when you do that, you then find yourself in a place where that sweetness comes right on up into your house. You know, the sweetness be knocking on your door, say, hey, sweetness out here for you. Come on, open the door and come get it. Yeah. So
I
yeah,
love it.
but eat for life and not for
Yeah.
taste.
Yeah.
Be well, enjoy your life as you peacefully walk in health. And you know, go to my website. You'll see I have some things on there, and definitely check out the women's The women's program on the 7th, which is an hour of September, is an introduction. I'll talk about a lot of different things for the class that will be for 12 months. And within the contents of that, you'll learn a lot more about because it is about you. Thank you, Angie,
Thank you, Dr.
for
Akmal.
you being able to have me on, and thank the people. Be
Absolutely.
well, enjoy your life as you peacefully walk in health.
Oh,
You do
thank
pay.
you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Go back and watch this. It was just too much drop today. So go ahead, rewind this or whatever you got to do, restart it, whatever. Just watch it again because he has so much information, so much wisdom. He is really on the path of helping women just get that sweetness back in their lives, like he mentioned. So go to his website, www.drakmalspeaks.com. He has a chart that tells you what you should be eating at this time of the year. Make sure that the next time you go for your physical, you ask them to tell you what your blood type is. I mean, just get into it, you all. Get into who you are. Get into loving yourself. Get into loving yourself enough to get that movement going, to cook for yourself and your family. And let's just be healthy together before they drop something else. No, I'm just kidding. Let's just be healthy together. And I'm here for you. Coach Angie, out. Talk to you later. Bye.